not to sound funny or to not take Thabo Mbeki seriously, I'm guessing he's still in charge and leading his foundation. My man, I assume you want to be around for the conclusion of these talks. Let's not delay and add complication. Turns out Thabo Mbeki Foundation didn't leave the national dialogue. They just wanted to not be there for the first one. They just wanted to see how it's looking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Top podcast.
Am I allowed to swear here?
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start them becoming indoctrinated. Your view on me.
Hi guys, I'm Emilio Tobias. This is the On the Country podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Drop me a comment if you have anything to say. We are in our national dialogue era, and we are going to have conversations every day. We're going to have updates about the national dialogue process, and we're just going to be nationally dialoguing every day as we've been doing over the past 3.5 decades. So let's dive right in. I got a video, and this is kind of interesting, seeing that my first video about the national dialogue was about all the foundations that have been pulling out, and how I found it selfish, and I found it self-serving and short-sighted for the most part. I don't know, I think this podcast is being listened to by people, and points that I'm making here and things that I'm raising every now and then make it into other people's press conferences, other people's podcasts, other people's apology tours, but not here for the claim. I'm here to give my 2 cents like everyone else. So please drop your 2 cents in the comments as and when you feel. Just like the video if it's a dark video. Like the video if you're having a good time. Let's go. Turns out Thabo Mbeki Foundation didn't leave the national dialogue. They just wanted to not be there for the first one. They just wanted to see how it's looking before. But it looks like they didn't leave. They just weren't able to make it to the opening event. But let's hear what they have to say.
The first national convention of the National Dialogue has ended in controversy rather than consensus. Legacy foundations, including the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, withdrew from the process days before it began, questioning its legitimacy and warning that it betrayed the citizen-led vision they had been championing. Critics now accuse the Mbeki Foundation of undermining the process or even plotting a parallel structure, while others argue that the event at UNISA was nothing more than a rushed, government-driven attempt to polish the ANC's image ahead of 2026. This morning, we welcome the Foundation's Chairperson Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi and ask what went wrong from their perspective and what it means to reclaim this dialogue. Geraldine, good morning. Thank you for your time. As always, we really do appreciate it. I'm going to get into some of the details of this.
It seems of all the foundations that have pulled out, the Thabo Mbeki one is the only one where the guy is like still alive. The other foundations of people representing the people who have left their legacy in their hands. So this one feels different because we can say to Thabo Mbeki, hey my man, what are you doing? The other ones, we hope and pray that they are handling this thing in the manner that the people's legacies who they are representing. We imagine that we hope that they're doing what those people would have wanted.
The statement that you issued, which has a few exclamation points, by the way. I think I counted 4 or 5 or 6, I'm not sure now. But I wanted to just ask whether the former president, Thabo Mbeki, and yourselves and others in the foundation were watching the events live on television at UNISA this weekend.
Good morning, and good to be on your show this morning, Iman. I think the issue is not whether foundations watch the event or not. I believe that it's important to just state that our concern is not and has never been with the need for a national dialogue. We very clearly identified what the principles are by which it should be conducted, because we understand the complexity of a national dialogue. Looking at the event itself, the convention rather, considering the date, we were concerned that the date set was a bit too soon in terms of the preparatory work that was required for the national dialogue. And in that,
my argument against that idea is that you complain that it was too fast and that more preparatory work needed to be done, which for me are counter points, because the more prep work you do, and maybe they must elaborate what the prep work is, but the more prep work you do, the less it seems citizen-led. In fact, they should do as little prep work as possible. As little prep work as possible, and they should only, the National Dialogue, the organization, the people who work there, should only be responsible for logistics and collation at the end. But everything else should come from us saying, and I know it's messy to get signals and get input from all over and things not being funneled properly. But that should be the reason why it's so expensive, because we're not going to funnel these things through someone who is going to decide for themselves that, no, I'm a representative of these people and this is what I think they should know. We're going all directly giving inputs to the source. Let them deal with the administrative nightmare that is, because we never said this thing was going to be easy. So decide, was this thing rushed or is it not citizen-led? Because you prepare too much, then it's less citizen. You do need to leave some questions unanswered so that the people can decide. So that's my issue with these guys saying what they're saying, unless they clear up what the preparation they expected.
That context, we said it couldn't really be called a national convention, because a national convention was to follow a pre-dialogue process. And this has happened in all instances where there were dialogues. I mean, in South Africa, if you want to go back to the Freedom Charter itself, 1995, there was a process that led to the culmination of the charter.
I'll give them that one. Pre-dialogues with real people, with real citizens, but by who? Conducted by who? There's many ways to skin a cat, buffet too.
If you want to look at CODESA and CODESA processes, even in the talk about talks, there were positions that were prepared by all parties involved. And those attending were representatives of organizations and the pre-talks, it was political parties. If one looks at the African peer review mechanism process, there's a process that ensures the engagement of voices from communities and sectors, and also pre-papers. We are at a particular point, and I think we should move forward at this point.
Yeah.
And as a foundation, but I actually want us to deal with this as legacy foundations, because our position is not separate from the other foundations. having been progenitors, I mean, we committed to a national dialogue with our understanding of the complexity of such a dialogue, and we will definitely engage with the national dialogue going forward. We are in quite a complex situation right now, in the sense that various differences came to the fore. We are aware that there were skeptics, and that's why the legacy foundations that said, just give it a little bit more time. Yes. Let's ensure that there are discussion documents that go out for engagement by sectors. And as you may be aware, there were 11 topics that were identified. And I mean, communities and sectors could have said at a gathering or even before that, listen, these topics don't cover the issues that impact on us every day. These papers that we are engaging with isn't encompassing enough. And I think the representatives attending from all organizations, sectors, sections of society would actually come and say the position of our organization, our sector, our community, our ward is as follows. So I think this is not about staring down anyone. It's ensuring the integrity of the process, the inclusiveness of the process, and ensuring that it is citizen-led, whilst understanding the role of government within it.
I want to go back to what
they bring up good points, and not to sound funny or to not take Thabo Mbeki seriously, I'm guessing he's still in charge and leading his foundation. My man, I assume you want to be around for the conclusion of these talks. Let's not delay and add complication. I'm actually interested. I might have heard the phrase once or twice. I want to go look up what the African peer review mechanism is, what it's all about, where it's been used, and then maybe we'll do a video on that, because I've been making comments in that app that they used for the conference. I've made suggestions there. I've made videos on it, where how are we going to make sure that everyone who said something can find and trace their comments and their input into the final document. So I want to look up what that thing is, because the convention or National Dialogue people have not told us what mechanisms they're going to be using. Is the subcommittees going to be deciding and figuring, and steering committees and figuring out what that's going to be. Let's see. You can go check out the full article on Newsroom Africa's channel. I think they're going to flag it, seeing that I am monetized now, so they can make a little bit money off of my video also. Let's hear what they're going to be using to capture everything. But I'm happy that the Thabo Mbeki Foundation has come out and said, yo, we're not out, we just weren't there for the beginning. But for us going forward, it's going to be tricky for them to find now the groups. Because this was group work at high school, where everyone must go off and come together and present a poster. Let's see what the other foundations and organizations and lobby groups are going to do. Guys, as much as some of the foundations we disagree with vehemently, guys like AfriForum, Solidarity, come to the dialogue, bring your views, bring your sentiments, and the dialogue should hear them out. This is now outside of, let's discard the fact that we are done listening to them and not forgive them, but let them have the platform to say what they want to say, even though they've now done so in America and kind of shot themselves and South Africa in the foot. Let's get to the truest form of those types of organizations, gripes and complaints and views. Let's not throw them away because they do represent a lot of good-hearted people that are quite misled by the politics of it all. The same way in the community of people of color. Sometimes we are also misled by the political parties that we find representatives of us. So everyone must come in, no matter who you are. Let's hear what you have to say and let's consider it truly. And consider doesn't mean yes, for sure, we're adopting that. Consider means we will analyze it, take it at its word, and see how that forms part of us. We don't want to exclude everyone. So Thabo Mbeki Foundation is back. I hope Steve Biko Foundation, Desmond and Desmond Tutu and his wife's foundation, sorry I forgot her name, and all these foundations can come back. Ones from all spectrums of South Africa. Can you come back so that you can have your say? There's going to be a lot of compromises made, but the conversation needs to be had and we can't have it without you there. Guys, I'm Emilio Tobias. This is the On the Contrary podcast. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe. And I got a super thanks button now on my channel. So do hit the super thanks. You can donate, you can help contribute to make the channel better, make it nicer, get more stuff on my mantle there, get more cameras, get more mics, get a fancy mixer so we can watch the videos nicely. But as we go, for those of you who've been following my channel for a bit now, you can see it's getting better each week. It's becoming nicer and funner. But thank you for subscribing and engaging and commenting. Dislike if you don't like the video, like if you do. That's all from me. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Contrary podcast.
Am I allowed to swear here?
It's weird.
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start then becoming indoctrinated. No view on me.